Hello everyone, this is MJPW and welcome back. I have been on the hunt for more Five Nights at Freddy's popcorn buckets. You guys really loved the Faz Talker popcorn bucket, and I cannot thank you enough for all the support that video had. As planned, I was definitely on the hunt still for the other ones. I wasn't going to get this one, but they popped up, and they popped up for sale. There's also another one that popped up for sale for Cinemark. Both of these, I think this one that we're about to show, I think it's going to be offered at other theaters as well. But this other one that's a Cinemark exclusive is like a plush Freddy that's holding a box. That one is also popping up at some Cinemarks. So if you have a Cinemark theater, give them a check, I guess. Mine, unfortunately, I was going to get that one if they had it, but sadly, they said that they didn't have it. Whether or not they did or didn't, it's always a hit or a miss, because trying to explain stuff to people saying like, hey, I'm after the FNAF stage popcorn bucket. Do you have that? Trying to be like, do you have the plush Freddy, Five Nights at Freddy's popcorn bucket thing where he's holding it? Do you have that? Do you have Freddy's head? Do you have a cupcake cup? There's a little bit of confusion, and I'm sure it's probably annoying for the workers to be like, I don't want to go back in the back and check for this. This is annoying. Thankfully there is a handful of workers that I have come in contact with, and they've been incredibly helpful, and they're like, let me look and see, let me look and see like about this thing and see what I can find. And us collectors, I'm sure, are extremely grateful for the ones that are like that. But anyways, so I've yapped a little bit. Let me go ahead and bring it out. You can probably hear it. It is tin all through this top part. This part is plastic. All the figurines are plastic. They don't move or anything. As far as I can tell, I don't think they pop out. They did, part of advertising is bad for one thing. They did advertise it where it looked like they were like moving, and then the lights was like flashing a little bit. The lights do flash, yeah, and there's a button to make it do so. Obviously, it's not doing it right now because I have a pull tab. But I could have sworn somewhere they advertised that these things were supposed to have sound, but they do not. I was under the impression that they did have like a sound. They made some sort of sound when they were activated, but they do not, which is unfortunate because that would have been really cool. Also, Chica is extremely derpy. It almost looks like the eyes are like not inward cross-eyed, but like outward. But it is really cool to have a thing of all the different ones, all the different toy animatronics on their stage. And this backdrop almost looks like the backdrop that's for FNAF 1. And something also to point out, I'm probably wrong. I almost want to say these are on FNAF 3, but I could be wrong. A lot of these in particular, are, well, I don't know about that one, but like these are in FNAF 1. This layout of the checkers with the red is also FNAF 1. I don't know about all these drawings. It could be, but I'm actually thinking that these drawings are in FNAF 3, which I could be wrong about, but I don't know. Paper Pals, I don't know. These are also like layered. Same for the checkers. That's the best way I can probably explain that. And same for the pictures. hear that? That's the best way I can. Well, look, you can see on the inner part that, you know, it's not layered. What's it called? Like indented? I don't know. It's a couple more drawings. And there's our gang. More paper pals. Is that a hippo? So looking at the underside, got a nice FNAF 2, got our pull pin. There is not an on-off switch. It doesn't look like. It does look like you can unscrew these from this base. So this part that has the animatronics, you can take that off. I was kind of worried when I was carrying it because it almost felt like it was hardly, like this part, I was holding it by this part. Because the rest of it is kind of thin, and it felt like this part was top heavy because I guess all of the weight is right there. It almost felt like it was going to break off, which if it is just held in by these screws that's just like right there, yeah, it could. It might. I'm going to pull this pull tab while we're here, but just so you see it. Nope. There we go. The batteries are no longer secured. I'll let you look at the inner part of the thingy. You can see all the indentions. These poles are the lights. So what actually it does, or what it actually does, is it lights up. Which I don't know if I've mentioned or not. At least it does that. We got some warning labels. Container with figure. Visual representation. It takes those really small batteries. So you got your container, where your batteries go and such. How to put in batteries. Turn on and off. The container must on off the LED light of the lateral walls. Am I reading that right? The container must on the LED light of the lateral walls. What does that mean? Oh yeah, it also says turn on or off. But in this case, if you watched the Fast Talker video, which I hope you did, you might have. If you're watching this and you came from there, hi. Thank you. The other one, it on the instructions, it was funny because the instructions said that it had an on-off switch, but clearly the model had changed from the instructions blueprint to the actual product because it didn't have an on-off switch. It just had a button. So this one is just saying the on-off switch is that. So does that mean the lights just go on and on? I did see somebody had, there was a handful of these. I'm going to put a clip right now. This is the perfect time to show this. There was a good bit of these. There was also another little section that had 2 of these. There was some of them that was actually dented up of the tin part. Yeah, I was like, uh-oh. They looked like they were just kind of thrown onto the shelf. But somebody had already pulled the pull tab on one of them, and they were lighting up. I'm sure you're anxious to see that. We're getting there. We're getting there. So apparently that's just the on-off. But I'm glad I got to keep the instructions. There was some of them that had the instructions with them, and yeah, this one did. If you're wondering how much it was, I don't recall off the top of my head, but I'm going to put it on screen now because I'm going to check my bank. It's one of those things where it's like, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. I love Five Nights at Freddy's. We're going to get it. Just like all the other ones. Let's see, is there anything else to talk about before I press this button? Probably not. Let's just go ahead and take a look at what it does. That's pretty cool. I like that. I think, you know, having it up on a shelf or something like that, and it's dark, I think that would look extremely cool. It already looks extremely cool. Actually seeing the videos of people getting these was what made me actually decide to actually get one. I think I might have mentioned I wasn't actually going to get one of these, but actually seeing how big it was, I was like, wow, okay. You know, I think this might be something that I would actually want to have. It does seem like Balloon Boy is a little bit tiny, but whatever. What can you do? But, yeah, I think this looks great. I've definitely had a changed mindset. I don't remember how much it costed off the top of my head, but here it is again. They did ask, did we want to have the extra large popcorn to go with it? But since we were just going up there to get these popcorn buckets and then coming home, I was like, nah. I kind of wish I did get some to, you know, just snack on tonight. But, nah, I didn't choose to get it. We normally, if you're a viewer of my channel, I've always said, at what point do we not make a popcorn bucket and we just have a collectible? In this case, this is one of the rare cases. I would say this one, I think, is a great popcorn bucket. It is a little bit awkward because it's like this huge box thing that you're gonna have to carry, and more than likely it's probably gonna be a younger person that's probably gonna want to get one of these and actually have it in the theater. So to try and lug this thing around with popcorn, I can already see some kids tripping over and popcorn spilling everywhere. I can already picture that. But doesn't that look cool? Like this shot right here. Doesn't that look so cool? It's funny, I can hear my voice echoing off of the metal part of this, like, inside. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I hope not. But it's weird to hear that because I'm talking towards it, you know. It's weird, whatever. But, yeah. So anyway, so you do get a large popcorn. And since it's all tin on the inside, it's going to be almost like you're cleaning. If you were to put popcorn in there, it's going to be like you're cleaning, you know, one of those big popcorn tins that's around like Christmas time, like at Walmart or something like that. You know, that have like the lid. Sometimes it's like different, or usually most of the time, it's always like different kinds of popcorn in there, like the caramel, like regular white cheddar, you know, stuff like that. It's kind of like, it would kind of be like cleaning one of those tins if you did put popcorn inside of these. But this is one of those rare cases where it's like, I could consider actually putting popcorn in this and actually using it for that. Now, me, just being collector, whatever, by the way, well, actually, we'll leave the lights on so I can yap some more. This would probably be a pretty good storage thing. It would actually probably be a good thing for, like, if you got the plushies or something like that, maybe you can have them, like, sitting out or on there, you know. Maybe you get, like, the figurines or something, you can have them hanging off. I don't know, you know, there's many kind of things you can probably do with it, or you can just have it for storage. Just hide all your things in there. So, like, you could stick your PlayStation remote in there. See, look. And you got so much space. You got so much space in there. But, yeah, that is the Five Nights at Freddy's bucket. I am going to turn the lights off so you can see this totally in the dark. Because I don't think there's many people that's actually showing it in the dark. They're like, yup, look, there's the lights. But, like, I want to see it in the dark. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like in the dark. Alright, here's all the lights off. Does that look creepy? I think that looks awesome. I wish there was a more front-facing light that's up here in the front of Freddy instead of on the sides. Other than that, that's insanely cool. Look at that. That's so cool. I really like that. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know if you're looking to get all these other ones, because I will have more videos. Please stay tuned. So I hope to see you stick around. I've been around for quite a while doing the FNAF content since the first game in 2014, and it's been an awesome time. So I hope to see you around, and thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.